WiseGPT is a GenAI-based dev tool that generates personalized production-ready code without needing any prompts. And by personalized, I mean that we follow exactly your way of coding and also the variables, components, and architecture that you've created in your project file. So let's dive deep into the code. Before we start integrating API, let me inform you of the 3 prerequisites. First is that you need to have a UI file ready. Second, the APIs that you will be submitting should be in the form of curl or postman collection. And third, your postman collection should have request and response data. Other than that, there is no need to change your dependencies or any of your state management libraries before you start performing API integration. Now, I'm going to click on Getting Started here. I'll select API integration. Now I can see that it is asking for permission to access this project's code. We basically do that to understand your coding preferences, nomenclature, project structure, and if you've integrated API and it exists in your code, then we'll try to generate similar code. Important thing to note is that we don't read any of your private API keys, credentials, or access keys. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Allow. Since the code analysis is complete, I'm going to start integrating API. But one thing to ensure here is that you need to keep your UI file open and selected where you want to integrate the API. I'm going to click on Integrate API. Now here on this screen, it is asking me to select the API for integration. I'm going to go ahead and upload my Postman collection. I'll select a file from my system and I'm going to open it. Once this is done, I will be able to see Login in the drop-down. I'll go ahead and select Login and proceed. So the code generation is now in progress. Now, since we had the UI file for login screen open and we also selected Login API as our endpoint, the code for API integration for login is ready. On the left, we can see all the files with changes in it. At times, even complete new files of code are generated. First, let's look at the constants and API.js inside it. So, over here, we can see that there is a base URL and login URL. So you can change your screen URL at any point. I'm going to go ahead and accept this piece of code. Now, inside util, it created a common function to call the API. It also created a common function for login that is used in the previous file that we saw. I'm going to go ahead and accept these changes. In login page, it created states for username and password. As we saw previously, email and password were not dynamic, but now they are. And here, you will see handle login as it executed the API. Previously, I mentioned why request and response are mandatory. So here you can see username and password has been used in the login API. The token you are receiving in the response has been stored to local storage. And navigation is pushed to success method. Else, we show an alert message on error. I'm going to go ahead and accept this code. And done. All our generated files have been added to your code and the API integration process is complete. We hope you liked it. Thank you.